Good afternoon, everybody. Today's project, we're working on the 82 again, and we're squaring up one major issue I have right now, and it's a safety issue, and I do not have a parking brake. Parking brake has always been an issue with this truck, and the first problem has always been the adjustment of the brakes. I messed up. Once upon a time, I fixed that adjustment in the brakes and got at least one side working, but one of the cables that I had put in years ago froze up. One was partially working, so I had half a working e-brake. And then I did that 8.8 rebuild and swapped axles. I ended up just cutting all the e-brake cables altogether. So it's been leaving me with not having a parking brake. When I did the 8.8 rebuild, I put new drums in, and ever since putting new drums in, the braking system has been improved by about 50%. I mean, it made a huge difference in braking performance. I mean, I can lock those tires up no problem now. Whereas before, you just hit the brake and it just keeps going. So this all came from LMC truck. This is about $80 worth of stuff here. The cables were $37. I think this was $10. This is a totally separate thing. This is from a dome light. And I bought a new spring for the e-brake deal. So hopefully these won't lock up like the last set of cables that I got. Oh yeah, it's a nice spring. Nice spring. I'll put this, I'm gonna do that off camera. But no, gotta find a knife. You know, I cleaned this place and I don't know where everything is. Hopefully we don't need too many special tools, because I got some stuff going on with my toolbox. I need to reorganize it. As you can tell, I've cleaned the workbench. Actually, I cleaned both workbenches, and I'm needing to organize my tools. Figure out where everything else is at. Come on, let's just open right up. Come on now. Let's see what we got here. So I ordered these for a 4-wheel drive because, well, the truck's lifted now. But the 2-wheel drive cables also work too. Yeah, so I really don't know who makes these, but it's came from LMC truck. They work pretty good. We'll probably shoot some I've got some fluid film. I'll probably shoot, coat this and then just jam it down in there. And then same thing with this other side. Be nice if I had a cable oiler, but I don't. But hopefully these will last longer than the last set. And at least this time I got the brakes set up right, so we should be able to have a nice parking brake. And having a manual transmission, it's really imperative to have a parking brake. And it sucks not having a parking brake on this truck. So yeah, that looks about right. This is the end that goes into the drum. If you get one that has like a gasket end on here with a big dingle end, that's for a 3/4 ton axle, like a Dana 60 or 10 1/4, one of those axles. And you screwed up and got the wrong deal. So yeah, I think I'll just shoot a little bit of stuff in there and run that in. And then I'll go over to the truck and I think I got a splinter on my finger. I'll go over to the truck and I'll get a wheel peeled off. We'll start with the passenger side, which would be this cable here. And we'll get the drums kind of partially tore apart. And get this cable snuck in there, and well, should be pretty straightforward. We just got to take one of the shoes off just for a moment, so that'll be fun. Well, they're not exactly new brakes, but they work good enough for me. This one drum right here is going to need to be, or shoe, is probably going to need to be replaced in the next couple of years. I'll call it good enough for now. So, what are we doing here? Okay, so what I ended up doing the passenger side just to see how that would go, and it actually went pretty easy. So I'll show you what I did on that side, on this side. And you'll have to pardon the road noise. I do live by the main road, and unfortunately it's that time of the day where Everything's noisy. But we'll do the best we can to power through this. So we'll end up having to do brakes again. I should have just done this when I rebuilt the axle, but I was being cheap. So what I was doing, or what I did, is I just took this spring and retainer off. Take this lower spring off, and then you can peel this back. This is the shoe that has the rod on here for the parking brake. And so we'll need to free this one up so that we can just get the old cable off. This has got the old cable still on it, the original, but it is cut, so we don't have any tension on it, so we can peel it apart pretty quick. So here are the tools that I have for this job. I got this tool that I barely know how to use, but I think I figured it out. This guy here, this is for pushing this little thing in. You turn it and then it unlocks it. This little guy, you take this and you put it over your this end here on the old cable, and you use this clamp to squeeze these down, and then it usually pulls right out. And that's how it did with the old one. And this is what's left of the old one. This one was actually seized up. This was part of this axle that came from our other truck. Yeah. So we're just gonna go ahead and let's see, how did I do this? We gotta grab the spring here. And just, you know, do that till it explodes. So we can leave that on there like that. Get this one off here and just set this aside. Also, while you're in here, make sure your adjuster works. This one I lubed up pretty good when I did my adjustment stuff here, so don't lose all that. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and get this guy off here. Not wanting to turn. There we go. So this shoe will want to come forward, which is pretty much what we want it to do. Get your adjuster out of the way here. And so back in here, this part here is through the end of the bracket. It looks like a little fork, and it holds it like this, and then the spring goes up against it. Now with the cable on it in its full form, it can be a bit of a bear, but because we don't have any tension on it, we should be able to just pull this spring back and, you know, out she comes like that. Take our hose clamp here, and then we'll just get it over the dude there. Oh, there goes our adjuster. We'll get him out of the way for right now. And then we'll just tighten this hose clamp down. I'm going to be so excited to have a working e-brake cable today. So we're going to keep tightening until this starts to poke through, or until the cable starts to release, and then once it starts to release, you just pull on it or keep tension on it to keep pulling it through. And then, so right now it's poked through. Now we'll release our clamp like that. There you go. She's out. We'll thread this through. And clicks in. And then you won't be able to see what I'm doing. I can't really get you in here, but I'm just putting the end of the cable back into that fork. And it's back into the fork. And so now we can just put this back together. I was laughing at this one guy. He was trying to get new e-brake cables for his axle, but it was a disc brake converted one, and nobody had any kind of cable for it. It's like a custom job. I was just laughing. It's like, I'm never disc brake converting this thing. It's just buy Super Duty axles if I want to do that. Get factory parts. getting this pin in here. Sometimes it's easier not to use the tool. Someone got mad at me for not using the tool. I did it by hand like that. They were really upset with me. I was just like, okay, hey man, sorry that doesn't work for you. Okay, so these got some anti-sneeze in them. They'll be okay. They're working fine. Get this back in here. We need to put this back in, and this is going to require some swear words, which I will kindly leave out. I think with this other side, what I ended up doing was just pulling on this. And then hooking it in like that. That wasn't too bad, huh? Okay, we're back together. We'll put our drum on and just make sure we're not super tight. Yeah, we didn't really mess with the adjustment, so we'll leave the, this is the important part. You want to leave your adjustment alone, or at least adjust this to where, you know, this barely drags, just a skosh, and then your brake adjustment will be pretty much squared away there. Then you can put your cables in up top here, which we're going to do in a moment, and you can just set the slightest amount of tension on them, and then everything should be hunky-dory. So we're going to be working right here. You can see that? Yeah, let's turn your... Yeah. Okay, so I got this cable here. At first I was like, this is way too long, but I got it routed between the shock and the sway bar. Something like that, and it'll get mounted here, here, and then come up top. Something like that. Okay. So what we need to do is get this thing free, and I think this is retaining screw is a, I want to say it's a 10. So let's see. Are we gonna get lucky? I don't think it's a 10. I think it's a 12. Nope. 11. No, it is a 10. Just snaps it off. We'll just drill a hole and put a new one up there. Okay, so that frees these up. These were all kind of janky. Oh, jinkies. So, I forgot to press the record button. I guess I did have my spring, but I got a new one I'm going to use. It's a little different, but it'll probably work. So we need to get this cable out. And to do that, we're going to use our little trick we did earlier. So these cables that I put in here, I got from AutoZone, and they lasted all of about 2 years. Okay. I'm tired of messing around. Just wanted to be out. Okay. So now, I think what we'll do is we'll take our passenger side cable. I think it needs to go up top. Okay. That's in. And that'll be strapped down. Something like that. And then we have our driver's side, or passenger side. Wait, no, this is our driver's side. This is our passenger side. I got them all mixed up. I think I did anyways. And click. There. nice. And then we'll just give it like a tiny ooga-dooga. Good enough. Okay. Oh yeah, these are way better than that other crap. That moves freely. That moves freely. Nice. Okay. Oh, that's actually loose. That's nice. I think I've actually worked this one to free it up. So, let's see. Can I do that by hand? I think I really worked this one with heat and oil, and look at that. I'm doing this by hand. Okay, we need to loosen this all the way up. Now what we also need to do is make sure our e-brake pedal is not partially down. We'll make sure it's all the way up. And then we can adjust this to where there's slight tension, and then we should have parking brake after this. But these are all equal length too, so that's good. So they slip into these little holes here. Wow, this is kind of amazing. This is loose and this goes in. I'm almost ready to go in there. And as long as those don't pull out of there, that'll be fine. The AutoZone ones kept pulling out. Cool. Oh yeah, these aren't going to pull out. Okay, let's go make sure our parking brake cable is released. Okay. So that pedal is all the way in the up position. Now this is also what your spring here is for. So the spring, which we'll put on is in a little bit, this will hook into this bracket, and then it'll come around and hook here, and I'll keep this like here. Now this hook here, this does not go in anywhere on the frame, so don't hook it into the frame, whatever you do. There's not even a hole here for it. So I want just a little bit more tension on that. That's pretty good. And then before we put our spring in, let's activate the e-brake, see if it works. I gotta hop in here. Ooh, that was a nice feeling. Let's see. Now, when I last had partial working e-brake, you could move this thing by hand. Wow. So the e-brake is down as far as it'll go. It's just flexing the springs. Yeah, oh man, that works great. Yeah, nice. And it pulled this equally, so shoot, boys. I got a working e-brake now. I'm happy about that. And then we pull up on that. Releases the e-brake. We'll just pop her back in gear while we put that spring back on. That's exciting. Okay, so the spring will hook into this bracket like that. So this spring here will keep a little bit of tension on this, so it'll help pull the pedal back up. We could probably tighten this up a little bit more. This is exciting. I'm so happy to have a working e-brake. Actually, no, I want to back this off a tiny bit. Leave a little bit of slack like that, and I'll call that good. Okay, cool. She's done. We got a parking brake now. That wasn't so bad, was it? That was pretty easy. We did it with basic hand tools, which really, as you saw me use, all I really used was hose clamp, this, and those tools, and my digits. You know, and aside from using a tool to take the tire off, that was about it. And we didn't even need to use tools to work the adjuster, which is quite surprising. Remnants of these AutoZone ones here, throw them right in the trash. So now I don't need my wheel chock anymore. This has got a working parking brake. That's freaking awesome. That makes me feel a lot better. And I got my lens cover in there. Doesn't exactly fit perfectly, but I got it to lock in there, so good enough. So that's factory. And then we got pull on it like that, and slam your finger in the door jamb there. Yeah, doesn't move at all. Nice. Don't worry, that's my neighbor. I don't smoke. He's getting me back for leaving White Claw in his yard, so. But anyways, that's it for this video. Yeah, just basic hand tools. Maybe, you know, the bolt cutters there I used to break that off or cut off the cable. So yeah, that worked out pretty good. So I got those they were $16 each. And I bought them for an 84 and up 4-wheel drive from LMC Truck. And I'm hoping they'll last a decent while. You know, we'll see. Maybe they'll last longer than my cab corners. But yeah, the fact that I have a parking brake right now, this is huge. I ended up not spraying them with anything. I didn't want the fluid film or oil that I would spray in there to collect dirt. That may have been what I did the last time and that caused them to fail. I'm not sure, but anyways, it doesn't matter. We got new cables in there. We're set. It's totally safe now. I feel much better having a parking brake that won't let go either. Yeah, before it was like you'd be on an angle and it would kind of slow it down, but it would keep creeping, and it's like, oh my god. You know, so yeah, we got the parking brake working now, and I'm super excited about that. I think I'm gonna drive this thing to work today, or this week. And having the parking brake means that I can let it run and idle without having to sit there with my foot on the brake. So yeah. Anyways, tubes, I'm gonna go edit this video and get ready for work. Catch you guys later.